Bavarian, Hungarian. Bajor is a major group of Upper German varieties spoken in the southeast of the German language area, largely covered by Bavaria and Austria. It forms a continuum of more or less mutually intelligible local and regional variants. History. The Bavarians as a group formed in the early medieval period, as the population of the Duchy of Bavaria, forming the southeastern part of the Kingdom of Germany. The Old High German documents from the area of Bavaria are identified as Altbayerisch, even though at this early date there are no distinctive features that would divide it from Alemannic. The dialectal separation of Upper German into East Upper German and West Upper German becomes more tangible in the Middle High German period, from about the 12th century. Geographical distribution and dialects. In Bavaria, the language is spoken in Upper Bavaria, Lower Bavaria, and the Upper Palatinate. In Austria, except Vorarlberg and parts of Burgenland, Styria and Carinthia. In South Tyrol and a handful of linguistic enclaves of Cimbrian and Carnic people in Upper Italy. In Switzerland, it is spoken in the village of Samnorn, in Graubünden. In Sopron and surroundings, three main dialect groups in Bavarian are: Northern Bavarian, mainly spoken in Upper Palatinate, but also in adjacent areas, Saxonia, Middle Franconia, Upper Bavaria and Lower Bavaria. Central Bavarian along the main rivers Isar and Danube, spoken in Upper Bavaria, Lower Bavaria, Southern Upper Palatinate. The Swabian district of Aichach-Friedberg, the northern parts of the state of Salzburg, Upper Austria, Lower Austria, Vienna and the northern Burgenland. Southern Bavarian in Tyrol, South Tyrol, Carinthia, Styria, and the southern parts of Salzburg and Burgenland. Differences are clearly noticeable within those three subgroups, which in Austria often coincide with the borders of the particular states. For example, each of the accents of Carinthia, Styria, and Tyrol can be easily recognized. Also, there is a marked difference between Eastern and Western Central Bavarian, roughly coinciding with the border between Austria and Bavaria. In addition, the Viennese dialect has some characteristics distinguishing it from all other dialects. In Vienna, minor but recognizable variations are characteristic for distinct districts of the city. In contrast to many other varieties of German, Bavarian differs sufficiently from Standard German to make it difficult for native speakers to adopt standard pronunciation. All educated Bavarians and Austrians, however, can read, write and understand Standard German, but may have very little opportunity to speak it, especially in rural areas. In those regions, Standard German is restricted to use as the language of writing and media. It is therefore often referred to as Schriftdeutsch rather than the usual term Hochdeutsch. School Bavaria and Austria officially use Standard German as the primary medium of education. With the spread of universal education, the exposure of speakers of Bavarian to Standard German has been increasing, and many younger people, especially in the region's cities and larger towns, speak Standard German with only a slight accent. This accent usually only exists in families where Bavarian is spoken regularly. Families that do not use Bavarian at home usually use Standard German instead. In Austria, some parts of grammar and spelling are taught in Standard German lessons, as reading and writing in Bavarian is generally not taught at schools. Almost all literate speakers of the language prefer to use Standard German for writing. Regional authors and literature may play a role in education as well, but by and large Standard German is the lingua franca. literature. Although there exist grammars, vocabularies, and a translation of the Bible in Bavarian, there is no common orthographic standard. Poetry is written in various Bavarian dialects, and many pop songs use the language as well, especially ones belonging to the Austropop wave of the 1970s and 1980s. Although Bavarian as a spoken language is in daily use in its region, Standard German, often with strong regional influence, is preferred in the mass media. On the use of Bavarian and Standard German in Austria, see Austrian German. Ludwig Thoma is a noted author who wrote works such as Lausbabängeschichten in Bavarian. There is a Bavarian Wikipedia, completely in Bavarian. Phonology. Consonants notes. The phoneme para is frequently realized as a word internally, while it is realized as word initially. Intervocalic per second can be voiced too. Some dialects, such as the Bavarian dialect in South Tyrol, realize k as an affricate word initially and before per meter nl, which is an extension of the second Germanic consonant shift to velar consonants. Vowels. Bavarian has an extensive vowel inventory, as is common for Germanic languages. Vowels can be grouped as back-rounded, front-unrounded and front-rounded. They are also traditionally distinguished by length or tenseness. Grammar. The commonly accepted grammar and spelling system for Bavarian has been documented by H. Meller. See more details at the German Wikipedia page for Bavaria dialect. A Bavarian features case inflection in the article only. With very few exceptions, nouns are not inflected for case. The simple past tense is very rare in Bavarian, and has been retained with only a few verbs, including to be and to want. In general, the perfect is used to express past time. Bavarian features verbal inflection for several moods, such as indicative, subjunctive, and imperative. See the table below for inflection of the Bavarian verb mache, make, do. Pronouns. Personal pronouns *. These are typically used in the very northern dialects of Bavarian. Possessive pronouns. The possessive pronouns dina and sina inflect in the same manner. Oftentimes, nig is added to the nominative to form the adjective form of the possessive pronoun, like me, dei, and the like. Indefinite pronouns. Just like the possessive pronouns listed above, the indefinite pronouns koana, none, and wana, one, are inflected the same way. There is also the indefinite pronoun eba, someone, with its impersonal form ebs, something. It is inflected in the following way. Interrogative pronouns. The interrogative pronouns wea, who, and was, what, are inflected the same way the indefinite pronoun eba is inflected. Society. Bavarians produce a variety of nicknames for those who bear traditional Bavarian or German names like Joseph, Teresa or Georg. Bavarians often refer to names with the family name coming first. The use of the article is considered mandatory when using this linguistic variation. In addition, there exist for almost every family nicknames different from the family name. They consist largely of the profession names or professions of deceased inhabitants of the homes of the site where their homes are located. This nickname is called house name and is seldom used to name the person, but more to state where they come from, live in, or to whom they are related. Samples: Mola, Bachbauer, Musris, Schreiner. Samples of Bavarian and Austrian.